What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Muscle, and this is another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast. And today we have a really special guest in the building. Listen, this man has been giving you hits from in the 80s right until right now, 2021. He has a new album out called The Next Chapter. You know, we have in the building today, we have Mr. Singing Melody in the building today. What's going on, big boss?
Well, I'm here mostly just taking it easy in this pandemic, trying to figure out left and right and trying to figure out if we're right as well. So that's the best way to put it. But life is here. God is still operating, and we can't forget that we are a part of the kingdom, and we help to either build or destroy. So that's the full nutshell.
You understand 100%, and especially somebody like you that's been in the business for so long. How has it been being down for so long, not actually getting to perform and stuff for like almost a year now?
Well, as many of my friends talk about it's really a depressing stage where we are now, and we're trying to figure out what to do. The good part of this is that this is where family gets very important, and this is what actually keep me going. Also, I have a live show that I do Monday, Saturday, and Sunday on IG that I started way before the pandemic gets so severe, and that's what actually keep me growing, actually keep me more connected, because I was always a shy person, don't like to be on camera, and even though I do a lot of interviews, but, I never actually thought that this is something that I could do on my own. And, but the encouragement from my family and friends and, people who I love so much actually inspired me to really carry on. And then, out of that, I was working on an album before the pandemic, and it was due to come out before that, but then this happened, so we have to take a step back and just go over some things and see how we're gonna approach the situation now. And that is basically everything in a nutshell, what actually keep me going. But not be able to perform and to entertain is another phase of it. Income is also another phase of it. That has been depressing. But like I said, I have my family and support from my wife and, and so on. So it's good. It's good.
Definitely. Because right now, I know a lot of people have learned a lot of stuff about their self, their business, and their craft in the last 10 months or so, because we've never been through anything like this in our lifetime.
True.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yes. Yeah, there is, it is funny because, and I have to say this because we're still trying to figure out what happened, what hit us. And I guess this is really like everything that God's talk about, that the good books talk about, the unexpected. And most of us are not prepared for anything like this. So you find that it shocked a lot of people. I wasn't really surprised, because I'm a type of person who live my life with no surprises, because the reason for that is because I expect everything and anything from human beings. And I realize that we have the good and the bad, and we also have the good and the bad and the ugly. So we have to now realize that when things happen, we have to just find ourselves in a good place and try to analyze what's going on and try to navigate through that, because this also shall pass. But it's just that it's really the surprising part of it that actually put us in a state of shock and let us, kind of start to get into the nervous situation and so on. Yeah, if we have to go back to zero, that's what we have to do. We just have to learn now from our mistakes and know that, look, we can't make this happen again, or find a better way to approach situations. So that's it.
You definitely understand. Well said, and I totally understand. With this program here now, what we generally like to do, we like to go right from the beginning and then bring it right up to where we are right now. So my first question I have for you is this: where did you grow up in Jamaica, and what actually attracted you to music in the first place?
But I grew up at 125 Spanish Town Road, and I will be more specific. It is in Jamaica, and a road called Spanish Town Road, and that's between, it's a long road. So we can say from Tivoli Garden all the way down to 6 Mile Seaview Garden. That's a whole long stretch of road with many different lanes and avenues and stuff. And all of these places are musically involved into the intricate part of developing reggae music in Jamaica. And that's when we say all the way from Tivoli Garden, that me have to pass Tivoli Garden, Trenchtown, all of these places come all the way to Maxwell Avenue, where Channel One come all the way back to Mary Avenue with Volcano I Power, all the way back to CV Garden with Shabba. Everybody. And then the rest of industry now is really from the countryside, such as the Cocotee, and what about people who come from country, come a town now, come make the thing even more sweeter. So that's my era that I grew up in, and that's where I was where you could say I was born, because you only go at Jubilee where your mother deliver you, and then you come right back home. So that's it.
You're right. And what attract? Because I know you're in the music, but what attracted you? What was the first thing you remember that said, I like this here?
Well, first I have to recognize that my mom was actually very intricate in singing at Dead Yard. So I used to follow my mom because, my dad wasn't always around because he was a fisherman. So my mom will take us everywhere that she goes to basically sing for the dead, because that's what used to happen. Like the wake and stuff, they will send for my mom, and my mom will go and sing. And music was always a part of my community anyway. So therefore I was always attracted to it. But, as a kid growing up, back then the time was different because it was your community that raised you. It's not really just your mom and your dad. It's everybody. So if you're not going to school, everybody would know you're not going to school. So they will gang you up. You can't escape it. If you're gonna skip school, you have to be hiding in bushes because somebody's gonna see you. And they're going to say, wait, but no Ruby Sundays. Wait, you're not supposed to be in a school. So we have a community that raises us, and we actually was going to school at the time, and my whole community was just music, as I tell you, from the Volcano I Power, Jonjo Henry Lars, all the way back to Romantic I Power, Little John, and that was the time. And then, like I said, the influence was there because then as a youth growing up, I was always attracted to the music. So I used to really, in the evening time when I come home from school, I used to just go out on the lane and just hang out with all the musicians that comes there, because everybody come to see Jonjo. Jonjo was the man at the time. And everybody really come to see him, all artists. And it was just a festive vibe, like to just sit around as a youth and just, you saw Gregory and you saw Yellow Man and you saw some man come in and it was just a joy, and Dennis Brown and you sat there, you're just looking at just the whole moment. And then when the sound string up, every night there was a dance. Every night there was a party. It was always the music. So the earlier influence is really, I could say I was invested in it. I was investing in it at the time because it was so interesting. And then my friends and my peers were musicians. There were younger artists that was coming up like Tenor and Liquor John. We used to go to school together. Okay. So Tenor and I was going to the same school, and also Liquor John. And we used to just, Liquor John get the break before Tenor. So therefore, there was a Frankie Paul as well as younger youth that was coming up from the same community, because Frankie Paul was just from Payne Avenue and we were from Mackay Lane, so it's just a street over. So we knew each other from back then, but all of those artists were big artists at the time when I was still going, because Little John get the break with What Is Catty and some other song. And we actually couldn't really link up again because he left school because of the music. Now, I was still going to school. Tenor got the break after, and I was the last one. And then that's where I met up now with another friend of mine in the community, such as Conrad Crystal, who sing True Love, and me and him used to par together, and then he got the break. We pick out True Love Will Never Die. Ghana, England, everybody gone. So I was really just the last one in the bunch. But what I was doing at the time, I was basically calculating my move and what I want to do. So I realized at the time that sound system were the major platform to really showcase your talent. This is where you're gonna train yourself to be professional and to if you have a talent any at all, you will know right there. So the sound system.
What year are we speaking about here when you got into the sound system arena?
This was about 1985, about there, 86. Because that's when I have also, I think it's 87, I got my first recording with, first real recording with King Tubbys, because I've recorded before with Liquor John and Romantic High Power, but I thought it was a record, but I realized no, it was a dub. But let me take you from the street vibe before we get into the recording. The recording. So hanging out with Conrad Crystal, Liquor John have a brother named Paul Poser. He used to write for Conrad Crystal. And Paul Poser was the writer for Conrad Crystal. And then Just Crew now is also Liquor John brother, I think, our cousin. He said that I am the better singer. That's what he says. So there was always like a little thing where Paul Poser is Conrad Crystal. Just Crew was singing melody. So Just Crew was saying, yo, I might sing at this, everybody. You know, the community vibe and everything going good and the energy right. But Conrad Crystal and I didn't really follow that line of competition. We always used to just try to get the break. So we used to go to Romantic High Power a lot. So at the time, I only have one song. And that one song was a song called Friday Evening. That was a cover version song from the Jackson 5. I don't know if you know that song. Friday evening, what a feeling. Feel like dancing and I feel like singing. But you gotta make up. So how I get that song is that, as I tell you about the long street that I came from, the long road that leads all the way from south to west, and it was always music. So when I moved from my community, my mom has to move because things now go good. My father passed, and it was just her alone, and she had to move because she got notice from the landlord. So we move and we go to Union Garden, which is further down the road. And that's where now I met like Michigan and Smiley, because they were from that community. And I started to hanging out there, but much music never happened for me there because it was just a little bit distant away from my everyday life. And it was a new community. I have to get to know more people, more friends, but I didn't develop any friendship there with anyone that much. So I ended up still, after leaving school, coming back, still walking out by Mackay Lane where John Jolard's place is. So I used to come in late at night. So I didn't have much friends there. So I heard about a band in Greenwich Farm, which is next door, that community. And I said, I want to visit there just to check out what's going on. And that's where I meet Junior Rankin and Finnegan.
Okay.
And Junior Rankin and Finnegan, they used to rehearse with a band. And I used to come there and listen to them. And then there's this kid there called Raymond Stewart that was always singing this one song. I didn't have a song at the time. I was just loving the music and wanted to showcase my voice because I knew I had a voice, but I just didn't know how to use it. So while going to the rehearsal every week, you know, Junior Rankin said to me, yo, what you do? Because I always see you here and stuff and you're just taking in the music. So I said, you know, I sing. And I said, really? I said, yeah, let me hear something. So I start singing Raymond's song. which I thought it was Raymond's song, but I didn't really realize it was the Jackson 5 song. It's long after I realized that, and I'll give you the full story because a lot of times we don't have the time to talk about the things and the journey, in details. And everything not going to be shared in details here because I'm also working on a book.
Okay.
That will tell my entire story and with chapters and different contents and so on. So will be something that we look forward to in the future. So that will have more details, but the bits and pieces here is helpful. So after singing that song, I said, "Wait, you sound good, man." So that's where Junior Rankin and Finnegan and I becomes friends. And so shortly after that, you're becoming a teenager now. You're becoming more responsible for yourself. So Mom was saying, you need to get something to do. So I got a job at Servwell, which is a company that I went there for electronics, but ended up planting grass there. Because when I went there, the supervisor said, "Okay, so you want to go into electronics? Well, look over that place there on the left there. You see over there? That's where I want to start electronic work." So I said, "But that's a field." And he said, "Well, you're going to move all of these old fridge." Because Serval was a place that sell fridge, stove, iron, all of those kind of things. And I used to love electronics because I used to pull up my mom radio and things like that.
Yeah.
And then when I finish now, I can't find out where half of the schools come from. So so I was always interested in that. So I went there because I thought I would get an opportunity there to become someone in electronics. And they gave me a football field to clear up, me and a couple more friends, and start planting grass. Now, we thought that the grass that we're planting, it was on the ground, but no, we have to now get barrows and walk at least another 5 miles to get grass and bring it back and then plant them. So it took us about 8 months to a year to finish doing that. So I was very happy the day when the field was done. All we had to do now when we leaving work is just water it. So Junior Rankin called me one day and said to me that he's going to King Tubbys studio. So if he wants me to come because he want to expose me to the recording side of it. So I went. Actually, before I go, I called my supervisor and I said to him that, I got this wonderful opportunity to go to studio. And him said, "Well, this is the only studio I know about. What studio are you talking about?" So I said, "Well, for recording." And him said, "Well, if you leave here, don't come back." So I left.
Wow. I guess because at this point here, you needed to figure out what's going on.
I'm going to become a recording artist. When I got there, them said they just want to come and check out the vibes and see what's going on. That's how I was introduced to King Tubbys studio. When I realized that it wasn't done, when I went back home, I didn't have a job because I had to leave my pay and everything. And back then you can't go back where you ask to pay because that was it. You left. So I didn't go back. So I started now to fool around a little bit of sound system. I'm skipping over a lot of things because, like I tell you, everything, it's going to be long if I try to go into detail.
Okay, how about this then?
After skipping over that, I started to follow sound system. I went back to my original base, Volcano, and we started to hang around there. I used to go out for Jules Whale. Every artist, them used to just send me go shop. That was my thing, go shop because I look a way into it. Start going back to Romantic High Power. This is where Little John now decided to record a dub plate with me and singing the song Friday Evening. So after singing the song Friday Evening and the answer rhythm, a matter of fact, it even spanned way before that because Friday evening, when I was rehearsing at Greenwich Farm, I leave Greenwich Farm, go to Romantic High Power every Thursday night at the 5. But back then nobody knew you. You know what I mean? It was just all you're going there to do is to hold a vibe and watch the big artists them work. So I know that answer rhythm is the rhythm that I want to fit that song on. So what I did was to just walk up to the mic, standing in the crowd while other big artists working. You know, man, I elbow your tune up, you get elbow on all these things, you know? Because you're small, you nobody know you. So when the answer rhythm come on and I hear that rhythm, I say, yes, this is it. So I just walk up there and everybody I work on the rhythm and I pass mic and me just grab mic and start sing and the place mash up. And the man them say, well on, how would I you tell? Make him sing again and you know, the rest is history.
Okay, so back then with Little John, Romantic and all that, what was your name at the time?
Singing.
You're the original Singy.
Yes, that's how there was another one which I wasn't aware of because he's all the way from Maxfield Avenue. That's a quite distant away from where we are because our thing was just community, you know, just right in a little circle. And so every community have them star, you know. And so Singy was the name that I was going by. And the reason for that, because I was a kid that used to walk and sing. I used to love walking and singing. So, you know, and someone catch me singing and I said, wait, I have a nice voice, you know, youth. What your name? Singy. And from there, we just like the name, we just take on the name. So when I got the job at Servwell, the security guard there was a friend of mine from Greenwich Farm because I met him at Greenwich Farm when I was going down there with Junior Rankin and Finnegan them. And he told me that he got a job at Servwell. So I used to always go check him at even time, even though I didn't work there anymore. So the supervisor himself, he has a sound system that would string up and play every Friday evening. And then there's this guy from Waterhouse who used to play it. And me and him now used to just hang out and sing on the sound. So when he played the A side, I used to flip it over, sing on the B side. So the supervisor came in one Friday and saw that it was me singing on the mic every week. So I said, yo, put on my mic and stop making noise on my place, man. Are you in there? I make noise every week. And that's how I actually started my practicing there. And then after that, I leave to Romantic High Power. And, you know, the rest is just history. And he's the one who actually helped me to find that name because he didn't like the name Singy, the security guard. So I must say, boy, you need a name. So I used to always travel with those like a small Oxford pocket dictionary. And we took it out and sat there in the night and going through names till we found singing. And we said, yeah, the singing can stay. I must say the singing, all right. It's just the two singing, no work. You know, so I must say, just keep one of the singing. And we need another name to go with that because singing sound like a mockery, like somebody mocking you. You know, it sound annoying. So we decided to go through some names and always we're there going through words and meaning of words and things like that till we end up at M. So when I found the name Melody now, I was saying, yes, this is it. And he said, no, man, too much melody about. You have Bobby Melody, you have Courtney Melody at the time, but just come out, a Sting. You have Melody, Bob Marley and the Melody Makers. You have all sort of melody was out. And I said to him, but think about it. If you're singing, you have to be singing in melody. So I'm saying, this is the ideal name for me. I don't care who name singing melody. I will take on this name and I will work it. And I said, well, if you want to work it, but I don't really like it. So I took the name and I started to mold myself with that name. Go to many, many auditions and the name was rejected. I remember producer called me to come out and do an audition at RJ Studio. And when I reached there, RJ said, all right, next, because you know, there's a line and everybody going next and going in and out. I said, why, Jano, come like them not get you and, you know, reaching. RJ said, what's your name? I'm say singing melody. I said, all right, go home and go change your name and come back. I never actually even sing anything. But it was
so you were determined to keep this name because the person that you found it with, they didn't really like it, and now you went to a studio and they didn't like it either. But you in your heart, you wanted this name.
Yes, I knew in my heart that the name would have become an household name, and I knew that I never had to change it. You know, I was always curious about names and the meaning of them. So when I looked up the name, I realized that singing is an art, and it's an art form. And then now melody is really something where the instrument and vocals comes together. It was powerful. So I knew what those two words were. So therefore, I wanted to keep that name. A matter of fact, let me just fast forward a little bit and tell you that it was just 5 years ago that I actually owned the name, because it was in Congress for years, battling to and from, because they say it's two similar words that use a lot. So how comes? And I have to prove that I was using the name since 1987.
Wow.
So that's how I ended up with the name. I pay a lot of money and go through a lot of things to end up owning that name now. And it's now mine, just as you see it on the screen. It is just there. So yeah. So that's what I went through to actually get the name and stuff. I know we're all over the place with the story.
Hold on. It's okay. Listen. So then this is what I want to know, because you're saying, okay, you're on the song, you recorded the dub plate for Little John and stuff. What I want to know is, how did you get to King Tubbys to record a song, and how did that lead to your first hit over by Steely and Clevie?
Okay, so what happened is that when I went with Junior Rankin and Finnegan, that's how I knew where King Tubbys were. So I was like, okay, I didn't get the opportunity here, but this is the place that I can come. Mm-hmm. So after school, I will still come home, change, and walk back to that community. And that's like over 2 hours walk. But back then we didn't have shoes that much. So there was only one pair of shoes, the bottom leave it. So therefore you have to put cardboard and sew it up and continue on the journey, just so you walk on the asphalt, because it's hot, sun. When you look at me them time, the man, as black as you see the bottom part of your phone screen, that's how I was, I was protected by the sun. So after pursuing my career, I was still on sound systems, but I was looking the opportunity, because I said to myself, I really wanted to record something. So I start going back to King Tubbys every day, religiously, like every day. But I couldn't get to go inside, because all things set up back then, you have to stay out of the gate, across the road, not in front of the gate, across the road from the gate. And you wait for somebody to call it, yo, buy a pack of cigarette down the road for me now. And that was it. It's like, religiously, I used to just go out for people, because I knew that was the way inside. Mm-hmm. So when I come back with the cigarette, the security used to say, who sent you out? And I said, well, the big Virgin man himself, carry it come. So when I open the gate and say, all right, go drop it off and come back. But me normally just stay here for 2 hours, relax until him do him rounds. When him do him rounds and come back round, him say, wait, come out, go outside, man, outside. And we outside. But you see, that was it. I got my foot in there and I saw what was happening. And I said, okay, I just need to go through that big door. Mm-hmm. How I'm going to get through that big door, I don't know. I have to work it out. So in my community now, there was a youth in my community that was apprentice engineer there called Banton. His name is Big Neil. He have a label named Big Neil now in the UK. I don't know if you know it. But he produces a lot of songs back then. He's still living in the UK. So I saw him and I said, wait, Banton, what go on? I said, I never know you work around him. I said, yeah, man, I'm apprentice and thing engineer. I said, what? So what I said? So he knew me from his community. I knew that I have the talent. He remember the Little John Romantic High Power Battle Off, and remember that we have a song on XYZ. So him line up, there was a day that King Tubbys wasn't there and he was playing around with the machines, and him said, well, him called me in the studio and said, you want to try out on a rhythm here? But back then, the man only have an 8-track tape, and the 8-track, there was only like 3 space after the rhythm met. So he was trying me out on the rhythm. However, I went in there, one shot, I have a song. So I developed my own song now after Friday evening. Mm-hmm. I write a song called Timey. Because I realized back then in the dance song, you needed to have your own thing. So I started to write. And I write a lot of songs before even start singing cover versions. Mm-hmm. So I write a song called Girl, I Tell You One, Tie Me, you better go on and leave me. So I tried it out on the rhythm. I read him like that. I remember the bass line religiously. So after recording the song, I didn't even know it was a recording. I just thought it was just a tryout thing, I try me out on the rhythm, but him couldn't erase it. So King Tubbys came, so everybody have to come out of the studio. Me run out and sit down at the yard like nothing at all, not happen. And I said, what? Get a tryout on a rhythm. Mm-hmm. So one day I went back now, because you get seasoning into the studio and everybody know you know. I know you're the man who go a shop and things. So the security not no problem for let you know when you come. Because I know say shop you go. I don't know you as the artist. Mm-hmm. So after spending some time around here now, one day I guess King Tubbys ready for the rhythm now for recording big artists them on it now, and then hear this voice on it. So chaos break out now. So King Tubbys is a serious man. He's a man where I'm very serious. Them are the religious thing and laugh like, mm-hmm. And everybody get nervous. Me take with myself because me don't know where I go on. Come here, say ratted, but we take some erase the thing, but it wasn't. So them suspend him for 2 weeks, and them find out say him and suspend him. And but anyway, King Tubbys never erased the song because he was listening to it, and he said, "Well, but the voice not sound bad." Ask Bantan where the youth name was sing that song. So Bantan must tell him, come back and work by this, and him tell him. And him say, all right, tell him to come back at the studio, come check with. So I went back and he called me into his office and him said, look, what you did was unacceptable because I didn't give anybody any permission to record anything, but song sound good. I'm gonna put it out. I'm gonna give you a copy for yourself, and if you want more, we sell it here. So I said, okay, cool. Him said, I'm not signing any artists right now, but guess what happened? We will see how it work out from here. So back then now, I just called myself King Tubbys artist because that's everything start now. And
when you were at Tubbys, who else? What other artist was at Tubbys at time there?
Well, it's a lot, you have King Everall, you have Junior Delgado, you have Anthony Redrose was like King Tubbys' son. If you look on the two of them, then look alike, Mm-hmm. King Tubbys adapt Anthony Redrose, I would have sent to the music from a younger age, and he was there as like Tubbys' major artist, but there was a lot more artists was there. King Kong was there also. So much I can't to tell, but anyway, shortly after that, I see the Skinny Youth come. Well, I met Triller You because Triller You was a big artist there at the time. Triller You was before me, So Triller You had a song that he recorded for King Tubbys because Triller You get to King Tubbys now by the same look. All of we go through the same thing of training to become an artist until we find the studio. So King Tubbys, him go around and go buy some dub plate for your sound and thing from his community, and King Tubbys here, man, called him and said, wait, you sound good, you come back and do some recording with me. So he went back and did that. So he did juggling, and juggling was big. Juggling every time. And it was a copy of Cocoa song. Mm-hmm. And Triller You get the break there. So I met Triller You there. And then shortly after that, now I was there. I met Courtney Melody too. Because Courtney Melody at the time of Ninja, Me Ninja, them sang there, mm-hmm. For King Tubbys and big thing. So when I hear some name singing melody now, I must say, yo, change the name the car. One melody alone we need around here. So, like I said, but easy. So I can never tell Bob Marley to change his name. Bob Marley and the Melody Makers. They were here before all of us. But anyway, long story short, we never had any disagreement because Courtney Melody was really just a nice youth, vibes youth, and so on. So we blend vibes together and we're there. And then shortly after that now, I saw Skinny Youth come around there now, tall Skinny Youth. And I said, and I said, boy, I said, what your name? I said, name Wayne Wonder.
Yes.
So I say, hey, and I say, yeah, man, and they are try out and thing and anyway, it may not be a frequent visitor there, so we start hanging out together. Mm-hmm. So I was the one actually who introduced him to dancehall and start carrying him to dancehall with me because I was already seasoned into dancehall. I was going on many sound, Jaro, I Roadstar, uh,
Metro Media.
Metro Media, Inner City. These are all the songs that I actually was, but Gemini was the sound that actually brought me to the forefront. Glamour Wayne was the man who actually took my career up. Me and Wayne Wonder, to be exact, because like I said, I never left Wayne Wonder nowhere at all. Me and him used to go Big John, High Power. That's the first song when me and Wayne Wonder go on together, and we never used to get paid, so them used to do with food, soup and curry goat, and that was it. But we used to sing all night. But Big John doesn't give you no money. He will give you all the food that you want. When you come, he give you your first cup of soup, and you go from there. And we used to just ride on the truck anywhere the sound and go with it. And that's where we now and I now start record for King Tubbys. We have one combination song, and then from there now Wayne split, and then I split, because then we start seek opportunities. So still on the sound systems, the community now, I move from where I was now and go closer to Maxfield Avenue. That's where Inner City come from, the sound system named Inner City. So, but back then I wasn't really an Inner City artist, because Inner City was more like a disco sound. So they were more playing, they play all sorts of different music. It wasn't just reggae or whatever, but they were more hardcore, because you have Mark Jagan and then it was very classy youth, And I just live up the road from there, which is Alexander Road, and that's where I get my first girlfriend, and me and her move in and start live together. So dancehall was my thing now. So every night, different dance. So Inner City come from my era, I start par with them. So while start record dub plate with me when I go studio and stuff. That's how now I met King Jammies now, and we start go from there. So in the same breath of that now, still them start hear about this youth and him singing melody now. So they must say, well, nice youth. So Wayne and I recorded on the Darker Shade Rhythm. So I recorded, still come pick me up, a matter of fact, at my house on his bike. Can go to the studio, and I sang Show Me With Your Love for him. And Wayne sang Still Say Yes.
Yes. And what year was this that you guys sang these songs though?
This was 1988, the last part of 88 going into 89. So after, and if you can see from 85 all the way down to 86, 87, 88, it's really just a few years, we did all of this by ourselves, and just walk street, campaign. So we know about campaigning long before there was social media, before anything, because even with my first record that we got, we used to just walk and carry at the dance hall, play it, make the selector play it, and then take it up back, because I want you up. So you just want to make it to the cassette. You see, once it make it to the cassette, you're good. So after getting the break now and get Show Me Your Love, I said to myself, yes, this is the song. This is the song. So I carried go to Gemini Club, me and Wayne Wonder. We got Gemini, and back then we don't know, Richie Stevens never really debut them time. They probably debut but in their countryside. So that's the same Thursday or maybe long after that. Because I really just, Gemini was playing at Half a Tree Road every Wednesday night. So therefore, every Wednesday night now I used to go Gemini. But by then now, Glamour Wayne now and the Brint have given up, because I said, boy, I can't find no song, me iron balloon, can't bust. So when I got Show Me Your Love now, I said, yes, this is it. That is actually where me think. Because I never actually find myself record anything that was so beautiful and full of energy. Because we never have much opportunity, as we said before, to explore that kind of energy. But we were very good at dancehall, because we could have hold a mic and sing for hours, sing about everything and anything. You understand? Till the crowd come, and then we pass on the mic to the bigger artists them. So that's how we used to do. And
so you would say Shower Me With Your Love changed your career. That was the moment that was changed your career.
That was the game changer right there. That's what actually made me recognize that, wow. Actually, the night, I take it to the experience. So I hand them away in the record, and I said to him, Steely and Clevie sang this now, And he must say, Steely and Clevie, oh, you record for them. I mean, I tell him to give him the journey and sit. And he must say, boy, that's good, man. He must say, all right, show your name not upon it. I mean, I said to him, say, well, you know, back in the days, I just white label. You get the first test press.
Got you.
So I gave it to him and him play it like, and I said, yo, wait till later. So anyway, Wayne actually gave him his one too, and the two songs them bust. Same night. Now let me tell you what give me the thrill. When Glamour Wayne, and that's why I said selector these days don't really bust songs anymore. Them just follow them one another and play everything. Glamour Wayne hold the mic and said to the crowd, say, people, I don't know what artist and my artist this singing melody. And I youth I try for years. And him say, you see that song I will never play tonight? If singing melody no bust, him a living iron balloon, now bust again a song tonight. And let me tell you something, I sat down there and I never felt so nervous in my life because I said, this would be the end of my career if this song don't work. And this man really, I tell the people, them say, yo, me iron balloon, me not good. I mean, him love me, you know, kind voice don't play it with me and stuff, but he just want to find a record where he can say, him boss it. And the man dropped the record. My brother, them times gunshot was legal in dancehall. Brother, Soldier empty the magazine. It was just a pandemonium inside there. A pandemonium inside there. People was shouting, fence was leaking down. And I said, yes. Glamour Wayne responsible for my career from there on. And from there now, I start to extend that. So that's how Showing Me the Love got out there. And then from there, you know, anything were happening in dancehall back then, you know, I end up on radio. So Barry G now heard about this song. And back then people now used to compare me and Sanchez because they must say the song sound like a Sanchez. So Sanchez was out there them time, come out with Lady in Red and them songs there. And he might go on, you know, in boss, basically boss now. Because he boss before me, you know. Because a sound system, the whole way I come from. Rambo Mango, him the Rambo Mango, me the a sound named Merchants. So that's how we end up meeting each other because I didn't know about Sanchez before.
Okay.
Prior to thing is when I go up on Rambo Mango now, we hear about Sanchez. I mean, I said, what on? I kid, you know? So we know the song Lady in Red because them song there for Redman was they were playing. So it's not like we were trying to sing like each other. We just end up sounding alike. As even by me talking to you now, me sound like the record, as what most people say. You know, so that's how it is, and that's how Showing Me the Love get out there, and that's my first major hit song. That's how it started for me.
And that's recording for Skeely and Clevie.
Yes.
What came first? Was it Flashbacks that came first, or that came after Showing Me With Your Love?
That came after Showing Me With Your Love because Flashback was Anita Baker era at that time. I used to be an Anita Baker fan, so everything Anita Baker does, I would have copied and tried to sing them back, practice them and sing them. So Flashback, that was for Parish record. Now, how I met Parish is through King Tubbys. While I was at King Tubbys, because I was still going King Tubbys, you know. And one day, you know, because that's how I met Specialist too, way before even Shabba. So we were all singing dub plates because dub plate was the thing back then. Everybody go forget a little thing, singing dub plate. Your only income because you're not getting a royalty from no. So I was there one day and Specialist came. And I said, boy, I might look some dub from some artists. So you have an artist named Panbird and you have Sanchez, you have King Everall, Red Rose, and all of we was there and all of we get work from Specialists. And I remember that's the biggest money I've ever gotten because back then a $50 dub, you know, and Specialists give me $100 for one. I mean, I said, what? Biggest money me ever get. I mean, I said, all right, good. And that's how I met Specialists. Then shortly after that, now, producers come through to record and stuff from time to time, rent King Tubbys studio and record and lick rhythm and things. So while I was there now, one day I saw a brethren come and him hear me I sing dub. And them call me and say, yo, you just sound good enough. And this was before even showing me the love too. Yeah, this was before showing me the love. So that's why I said it's bits and pieces. The story is long. So for me to really tell you, I have to chop it up and go through some stuff that I can remember. So Parish now took me and he said, come to my shop, man. And stuff, and we can start record some songs with them. And I was happy because I wasn't recording.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Parish and I started to record for Parish. So record a few little songs before Flashback and so on and them songs, and not never really go on. But the greatest thing about that is that he employed me as a part of his record shop to help him to restock record. So he gave me a bicycle. But then we used to walk. So he gave me a bicycle that was like a motorcycle now in this time.
Okay.
So I used to ride from Dunrabin Plaza all the way back down to Tough Gang and Sonic Zone to pick up record and bring back to the shop. And I would get a salary now a week time.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized I wasn't recording. And while I was recording for him, stuff wasn't happening. Him just put out the songs there, man. That was it. It playing at the shop, and we never really hear them in the dance hall or anything. And so I went and got the big song now with Steely and Clevie, and then now him start to ride on that momentum and record Flashback now and do an album for him called Original.
So that was your first album that you did now?
The first album was Original, and it was distributed by VP Records. And then now Show Me With The Love bust me now, and then that's when everything now turned, the table turned.
Yeah.
So I realized now that, okay, we still there Parish Records, and I must say, boy, things so what me feel, man, just hold on and go on. But he wasn't living in Jamaica, he was living in America.
Mm-hmm.
So he have his cousin now was running the shop. So I kind of get tired of the situation because I said, no, I want to launch my career. And this man at the foreigner tell me if stay in the record shop. This is not what I wanted. Yes, I'm grateful for the opportunity, but at the same time, you know, this is something bigger. So I started to call him and encourage him. And I said, we can do more things, you know, we can. And I said, boy, just hold on, man. I jumped the gun, man. You think I circle, you know, bigger foreign yet, you know, and him start to tell me some things. That time, I start record now, you know, because I have to hide on a record now. Because I know I'm a record for nobody, so I have to record for Bobby, Jammies, and I screech out and I do the recording them. So them time I record, we're in this love together for Bobby Digital. Mm-hmm. Then I go to Jammies now and I say, I record some songs. I record songs there with me and Johnny P. And we have about 4 hits with Jammies. Mm-hmm. And then now we start murder. So him start to hear the song, then I call me and I say, boy, but tell you say, you see a bunny out yourself and all of that. So me end up leave.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there now, we still end up being friends and we're there for a while, and then now we kind of start push out now. So his brother now, which is Tony, he used to have a song called Genesis, and I used to hang out on Genesis as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So Genesis was a sound system that actually, you could call it that they are a part of the starting too. Mm-hmm. Because I was there while working at the record shop. I got introduced to his brother's sound at Barbican, right at Barbican there, so short to the road. So I used to go there to hang out on the sound and play with Fitzy and them, the selector them, and just going places with the song, just like I do with any other song.
Mm-hmm.
But actually never get the break. So Tony decided to take me to Canada. This is actually not my first trip mm-hmm. to anywhere internationally, but because Cayman was the first place I went. Me and Papa San, that was the first show that I've done. While now, because sometimes career now start to get busy and people want to interested in you and stuff. So we were managed by this lady called Lorraine, and she was managing Papa San at the time. So we ended up now going to Cayman. So that was the first travel show. But then after coming back from Cayman now, Genesis decided to bring me to Canada to try do a concert there.
Okay, yeah. Let me tell you something about that. What if I told you I still have the flyer for that right now?
You serious? That would be good.
When we're done this interview, I'm going to take a shot of it. I have it in a bag right here, right now.
Oh, Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So it is a lucky thing. And you know something? Because the stories are so long, I must tell you that there's a time where Tony said, boy, I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Come to mention him nowhere in an interview and this and that and one bag of thing. I mean, I said to him, say, Tony, you know, say, I get me. So if you get your pass, you know, but like I said, my story is like an encyclopedia. It's a lot of navigation and content and different time in my life when things happen. And when I go on an interview and somebody say, well, you know, we're going to take you from Jump Street, it's difficult to really fit that in everything. So I'm glad I mentioned it this time because Tony always I said, boy, you know, I'm grateful and I remember where I come from and things like that. But
that Genesis, it was actually 2 dances was on that flyer. It was 2 events that you guys did. I've been collecting flyers from 1988, so I have that flyer.
And I want to get a joke. The dance never work out. The dance it flop. So when we hold the mic in the dance, we said to the people, a few people were there, like the box, the man who helps to up his sound, and maybe a few more people. I say, you know, I just pass me, I pass through. You're man ball out. I say, yo, work, you come for work, boy, I pass you. You're the flyer. But that's where it all started. From there, I ended up into America, and that's when I learned that my career was so huge in America on the ground. Because Parrish was always telling me, which is his brother, that nothing not go on a foreign. Even when we do the album, you know, and the album was distributed by BP. So that's when I went and I realized now that things are a little bit different over this side. So I stayed there for a while and work and start earn really good money now, and then I go back to Jamaica. But for the most part of it, it's a lot of stuff to talk about, bro. A lot.
Okay, so then let's do this then, because I know we have limited time and I want to get into your new stuff, okay? You worked with, 2 questions before we go there. You mentioned sounds a lot. You're definitely, sound is your backbone. Where were you?
I've been ungrateful. Sound systems, my brother, help singing melody to curve. That's why I have so much respect for sound system owner and sound system operators, selectors, radio disc jockey. It is an undying love, because without them I couldn't have gotten to this far. But the number one thing is the fans, because no matter how much a radio man play, if you're not a fan, if you're not no fans at all, then it don't really matter. So the fans is really what helped me to get this far. Yeah, man, of course, sound system.
All right. So then now, when it came to dub plates, where were you the first time you heard one of your first dubs mash up either the dance or the clash? What was that feeling? And do you remember where you were?
Yes, Romantic High Power, for sure, because Little John was the first man to record a dub plate with me at the time. So Romantic High Power was definitely, it was a thrilling feeling, because like I said to you before, I was a really humble soul and trying the music, and all I wanted is an opportunity to get through the gate. So, of course, I couldn't have forgot that moment.
That moment there. Big, big, big. All right. You've worked with so many labels. You did like Shocking Vibes, everybody. There's 3 names that we mentioned that you work with that passed already, which was King Tubbys, Bobby Digital, and Steely. All right. Do you remember a moment from all 3 of them that you will never forget?
Good question. Steely, when I went to America after Steely recorded a song on my bus now, and I recorded another song for Steely, which is Lonely is the girl I met while walking on one day. So those are the 2 songs. And Steely, I went to America. So when I came back, I was hanging out now at Arrow's recording studio, because dub was always our thing, was always looking to extend ourselves through dancehall. And so Dub Plate Studio was always a place that we basically just hang out and hold a vibe. That not just for dub, but as artists, to meet other artists and so on and so on. Because we were very loving people and kind and friendly people. So we're always trying to find peers like ourselves that we can be able to team up with, write songs. Because what if artists should tell you back then, it's not just them alone get involved in their career. Every artist, because when studio time around, every artist in a studio, I'm gonna give a line, I'm gonna say, yo, sing this. Man, I say, yo, the song bad, sing that part, yeah. And that's how we used to get our songs. Now, I ran into Steely out there and ride a big fat scooter come out there and he must say, oh, that singing melody. Why are you now boss again, you know? Career done. Man say, you're worthless, man. So I say, what you talk about Steel? I'm so glad to see you. How you do, man? And I said, boy, you're glad to see me. After you get one son, you run to go foreign and you think you got away to come back for boss. You're not boss again. Brother, I felt so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Come so happy to see my producer now. Come here, I say, yeah. Man, I say, yeah, man, you're not boss again. You know, but the only way you're boss unless me record you, I'm not record you again. So me I say, but Steely was always like that. You see when Steely talk, you know, you have to, if you don't know him,
Mm-hmm.
you really take away yourself and go on and eat a shell because it always will start the worst thing about you. But it's a form of motivation. But I didn't know that. So I went to him the evening and I tell him, I cry, I said, John will start. Steely really embarrassed me today and man feel shame. But then I start to think and I said, all right then. Since I that Steely think, I'm going to prove him wrong. But I didn't realize that I was proving myself. I was proving to myself. It was Steely that I was proving to. Steely done what he done for me already. He did what he did for me already. He can't replay that moment. So I have to know just build on that moment to show him that. So that was the moment that I remember about Steely. For Bobby Digital, wow, what if a different moments? Because Bobby Digital were, as you know, was King Jammy's engineer. Mm-hmm. And when Bobby Digital started, we were his team. There was me, Wayne Wonder, Shabba Ranks. So if you notice all of the songs them from back then that bus dancehall, it was me, Wayne Wonder, and Shabba Ranks. Mm-hmm. And of course, Admiral Tibet was always there. And a whole heap of artists, but we are talking about the younger artists, them like when them just start out, we were the one that was vicing in his bedroom. You understand? Over you and then. So me and Wayne used to go there religiously every day. Mm-hmm. So every day we'll record something. And me I tell you some songs sometimes they're just half key or half beat, them not on the right bars and Steely will fix not Steely, Bobby will fix them. And that's why I tell people that Bobby was a doctor. He wasn't just a regular producer. He was a professor in what he does. And Bobby, when I remember recording a song for Bobby, and this was the moment, was Say What. And this is long after, years after. I remember we have a whole hits with Bobby before that. But this is the moment that I remember. Is that I came to studio and there was a Grabelas rhythm playing. And Bobby said, sing it. Now hear you upon this, you know. But you have feet. I said, you know, so I don't have no feet. And I said, nah, man, you have to find something feet, man. And I said, this time now, I have a girlfriend where she'll go through some stuff and not my actual girlfriend, but she's there with another guy and the guy must put her out and take in somebody else. So she was telling me. And at the time, it was just on my mind. I mean, I said, say what? And, you know, the rhythm I play, I just have to say what? And Bobby, I said, oh, hold on there. Sing that again. I'm going to sing it. And I said, Bobby, I said, go in the room. Go in the room and start singing. And Bobby just, the man was like a professor, everything right. It's like me, I look at Bobby mouth and I see the words there, man. Them just come out. And Bobby, I say, yo, this is it. That time, when we go into the studio, I hear Grabelas and them song there. I mix him up. Oh, Bobby set up same thing. Once you record, it mix same time. You understand? Mikey Spice and Louis Culture just left there. And when we come out of the studio, I said to myself, brother, yeah. And we have a whole heap of moments, you know. But Bobby resonates with me as my musical professor. I would put it that way. You know, in his interviews, I don't think he has mentioned me, but because we were like the earlier, we were before the Garnet and before all of them, the Shabba. Not before Shabba, because Shabba bust in the same time. Right? We can't say that because Shabba was the king for Bobby. Basically, Bobby took Shabba from Jammys, basically. You know, adapt Shabba because Bobby was the man around there and was do the work. So, that's it. There was only 3 artists that merged out of that camp seriously.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I actually never signed to Bobby wasn't a person that really pay you much attention when it comes to focusing on one artist. Bobby was always a producer that wanted to work with many. Because remember, Bobby become a producer, it's by Heatwave. And Heatwave was another song that I forget to tell you about again. You see what I'm sure it's a whole heap of sound system.
With Spragga Roots playing the song.
With Spragga Roots playing the song. And I started to go to Heatwave after meeting Jammys and Bobby them. We start go Heatwave sound and vice whole heap of dub for them and things like that. So the journey, long, my brother. Now, you were talking, which other producer you mentioned?
King Tubbys.
King Tubbys. No, man. King Tubbys moment I shared with you earlier. King Tubbys was the beginning of my understanding when it comes to music, to recordings to be exact. And that's when I realized that, wow, I had something and I can do this. And I recorded 2 more songs with King Tubbys. And then shortly after that, because we had a bright future with King Tubbys, it's just that right in the midst of that, King Tubbys passed. They shoot him.
So you were still there. You were there. What when he
because he was building a new studio for us. He was building the new studio next door. When we get a peep inside here, and the board was so pretty. And we say, yes, the room here. Because it was right side of the small one, but it was really brand new, and they spent a lot of money in there fixing it up, and it was beautiful. Mm-hmm. And that's where that cut off. When King Tubbys died, we didn't know what to do. Everybody get really frustrated, and I think this is where Wayne Wonder and I now kind of split on him, but we still keep in touch. Because back then, cell phone was a privilege. You couldn't just call a man and say XYZ. You have to wait. You have a time a dance, and no dancer come up and say, "You'll see everybody this sound," and link up and say, "All right, next week we are going this again," and that's how it worked.
That's so crazy. I'm telling you, your journey in this business has been so crazy because, again, we've been speaking now for almost an hour, and it's like we barely got into the 90s. Barely. And we're in 2020. Okay, so then let's do this right here. I'm going to ask you right here on this podcast, can we set up a part 2? Because we still have to get to your new stuff right now. So can we set up another part of this interview also?
Yes, we can. And it's so unfortunate because this time I was very prepared for this. But then, oh my God, the journey. My brother, when I sit and I look at my journey, I said, I have so much knowledge I want to impart to the younger generation. And it's not just me alone. It's really just people who are coming from this time, from those time till now. And the reason why I'm so relevant up till today, it's really because of how I think about people. I'm not a selfish person within myself. I do think about the industry first. I think about Jamaica, the place that I scratched my name on and bring it onto the world. And this is really without zero help, meaning that I've never had anybody spend any money on me. I've never had anyone manage me to the point where I get successful, like things like that. I think the only time I remember, and I had managers, but it's just that they didn't understand the levels and where to take me. So because I am coming from the sound system days and the street days, I have to do everything for myself. But of course, with the help of people, you understand? Because we couldn't just do it automatically. There's so much people have helped me on this journey that I have so much to say about and give credit to them, from sound system operator to producers, even people who robbed me on the way out, they actually helped me to realize that I need to be more business smart and things like that, and just simple things like that. But like I said, the journey is long and it's very memorable. Like I would repeat it with a different energy if I had to.
Definitely. And that brings us right up because, again, there's the lust, there's so much, but we're going to skip all of that till we get back to the second part and get into your new body of work called your next chapter.
Yes.
Right? Out of all of your body of work, why does this one sound so different, so vastly different from everything else you put out as a body of work?
Great question. The Evolve evolving is very important, and to reinvent yourself is very important. And that's why when you listen to our music, it's not stuck into the 80s or the 90s. You know, it evolved. And the reason for that is because we have new people coming up, and our folks who used to follow us are getting older. They stop going out. They're still listening to you, and they're still looking out for stuff. So that's why when you listen to the next chapter, you can hear every song on it. Someone can able to pick a song for themselves and say, okay, that song is not my favorite, but this one is my favorite because this is the singing melody I know. But for the younger folks who are coming up, and if you notice with the next chapter is that I dabble a little bit into trap music, into Afrobeat, into pop, and so on, just to widen the scale a little bit. And the reason for this is because so much time you hear an artist and it sounds like he's always in a box and he can't really get out of that box. I never ever wanted my career to be about, me singing on one drop rhythm only, because that's my roots. Nobody can conquer that like me and Sanchez, Wayne Wonder and Lost, and we have that lock, Barry Salmon and so on. We have that. That's in our DNA. But the younger folks are coming up and them need to know about us, just like how them grow up know about Bob and Michael. We want them to resonate with us as well. So therefore, even though the sales and stuff are not great, and I don't think that they're really buying music, but just to give them something to listen to and to nod their head to, and can say, wait, who's that artist? Man, say, singing about them. I say, yeah, we know that name there from a long time. Yeah, I'm still about. Yeah, that's the idea. Mm-hmm. And pop it into their player or the MP3 player and listen, because I just want people to know that I'm not limited. That's basically it.
Definitely. And you know what surprised me was there wasn't the usual suspects when it came to features. Somebody like Teddy Riley is what really caught me off guard. How did that connect come around?
Well, the Teddy Riley thing is really through a friend of mine named J Soul. I met J Soul years ago through a friend called Razor, and that's his cousin. And J Soul is a producer, songwriter, and also a singer as well. He's in the pop music world. He has a label and he signs artists and stuff like that. And he works with Teddy Riley as a songwriter and music creator as well. So I went to him with an idea for my project. And I said, hey, look, we knew each other for years and we always been talking about music and so on and so on. Now is the time. I have an idea. I want to swing by you. So I was playing a rhythm, a song, I think. She said she wanted. Do anything and anyway for it. She says she need it, no matter what it costs, relationship. And I was just playing the song and he was like, yo, you know what, Melody, I think this is an idea that Teddy can do. So I said, which Teddy? He says, Teddy Riley. And I was like, Teddy Riley? He was like, yeah, let me give him a call. Mm-hmm. So he chewied Teddy Riley. And I was on the phone because I was just like there. I wasn't really, because I don't know what Teddy is going to say. So I just keep quiet. And Teddy came on and he was saying, Ted, hey, you remember I was telling you about the artist singing? He was like, yeah. So it's like he's on the phone. I was like, oh, yeah? Okay. Hey, what's up, singing Melody? How you doing, man? Man, I've been listening to your music. Man, you're so great, man. Yo, you don't know, man. I was like, this is Teddy Riley talking to me like this? I am nobody when it comes to Teddy. Teddy is a G. I started to just go wild in my head. And he said, well, let's do this. Come down to Vegas and we will work on something together. And I was shocked, like living in a shock. And I was like, okay, let this happen. So I called my manager and I said to him, yo, we're going to do this with Teddy and J Soul. Let's go to Vegas. And he arranged the trip. We went down there. We met with Teddy. But what is so good, I'm going to tell you how God really connects people. Really, really. I tell you, nothing happened by accident. And that's why I tell you, I have no surprises when it comes to life. Now, got to Vegas. We rented a little motel, like a little hotel. Mm-hmm. And Teddy came to see us in the night. And he says, why you guys stay here? I was like, oh, well, it's not. It's like, no, this is not good. He said, look, you guys need to find an Airbnb and we'll just link up in the morning, just find somewhere. So J Soul got on his phone and started to look for Airbnb, and we find a nice place out in a nice area, things like that, and we rented that. So we moved there the night. We check out of the hotel and moved there, and Teddy came and he was like, "Yeah, this is much better. This is much better. Hey, look, guys, my studio." Because the idea was we were supposed to go to his house and stay, but his house wasn't finished because he just moved to Vegas,
Okay.
and the studio wasn't really up and running. So he said, just rent an Airbnb and we'll go from there. So Teddy bring all his most of his the equipment that we'll need over to the Airbnb. We went to Home Depot and we got tapes and blankets and all sort of things. And we started to find areas in the house where we could set up a recording booth. So while setting up the recording booth, we found a closet. So we said, yeah, we can do it in the closet. So we put up the blankets, and then I have to go under because the door couldn't really close under the blanket and go up, but it wasn't working out there. So we decided to pull it back down and set it up in the hallway. So after we set it up, we have to find a nice location now. Sounds good, padded and sound flat and nice. I say, yeah, this is the sound we wanted. So I came out and we started to talking about just our journey and the experience. And I was expressing to him that, I was really, really appreciative of this opportunity. And, it is very humbling experience. And I never expect him to be so humble. And, things like that. As an icon that's in the pop music world for decades, was a millennium man, I would say. And I was there and I was just talking to him, and he would just start sharing with me about his past and his life. And we both have the same amount of kids. We both have the same kind of slight illness, we call it, thyroid problem. Me and him just go through some stuff, and we started to talk more about family and friends, and we both just aligned. Like me, him, and J Soul was like aligned with everything, and that's how the song was created. When the song finished, he said, I don't. He was just there because J Soul was the one who was taking the vocals and doing everything, and he was just there bobbing to it and making correction. And while I was there trying to sing perfectly, because it's Teddy Riley, I say, yo, you want your vocals they're on top form. And I must say, stop, Melody. Don't try to sing. Don't try to sing. Give me just the raw you. Don't give me any R&B. No, we have R&B. Don't worry about that. Just give me Jamaica style. And I was like, okay. This is it. This is me now. Because, you come around, Teddy, you just think that you want your song to sound a little different but that's not what they wanted. They wanted the raw Jamaican style. And that's where I switched in a second. That switch on and switch off. And it was like, yo, when the song done, he said, this is a Grammy song. He said, this is a Grammy song. Yeah, I can feel this energy. We just needed to do some stuff to it now, and he's going to take it and get it mixed. So we're just working out the ins and the outs. So when I said, Teddy, so how this is going to go? He says, no, this is our song, our project. We are going to share this even. And I was like, wow. Normally a producer like this produce something with you, they want all right. And he said that it was a song that he wanted to share equally. So Sony Red heard about the song. Not Sony Red, actually, there was a company that was signed to Sony Red, heard about the song and wanted the song immediately because Teddy was involved with it. Mm-hmm. And we started to do some negotiation, and then, a lot of people came on board and a lot of big names came on board on the project. But then some greediness take place now where the guy who actually wanted to sign the project wanted more from it. And Teddy jumped off and said, you know what, guys? If you want to go with it, you can. Just pay me up front. So we had to pay Teddy up front, even though it was a partnership. So it was just me and J Soul now own the song. So Teddy jumped off, but we still remain good friends. Mm-hmm. And the project never actually fell through the crack because greediness, again, actually just take the whole thing apart. So we decided now to keep the track and put it out ourselves. But then a lot of things happen in the process of that. So I decided to pull back the track and then do a remix on it. So I sent it to Sweden, with the acapella to Sweden, and I asked a production company over there called E7 Music. These guys are great. You will hear about them soon. They more do hard Afrobeat song, pop song. They do everything, but they more focus on pop songs and things like that. So they created a remix on the beat. Some of this stuff is Teddy stuff, and some of the stuff is they just, when they heard that it was Teddy Riley, they didn't want to change much on it. So the vocals were Teddy Riley, you know, he has his beatbox sound, the vocoder sound on there and all of that. They didn't want to touch that. They said that was amazing. And Teddy Riley, just to be a part of this, they didn't even take credit for making the beat. They just said, listen, give it to Teddy. That's his thing, you know? So we did that, but I still managed to give them some credit for the beat and stuff and share a percentage of that with them, because I'm like that. If I'm working with you, I'm going to make sure that you're happy, because I've learned the hard way before. That used to happen to me when I was just coming up into the music. All my credit was taken from me. I didn't get no money and things like that. So I understand that this is our retirement. So I make sure that the field was level between me, J Soul, Teddy Riley, my manager, play an intricate role as well into the song. So that's how that song came about. Oh,
Crazy,
I have to tell you that we went there to voice one song and ended up voicing two.
Okay, so there's another one.
There's another big song that is coming on my next project. We will definitely talk more about that later on. But that song is very, very hot. Very, very hot as well. It's two songs. So yeah, that's how that song came about.
Crazy. It's the next chapter. It's out now on all digital platforms. 15 fire tracks and different vibes for different moods and different feelings, all courtesy of Mr. Singing Melody Boss.
Yes, I have to say big up to first of all, also big up to yourself for taking the time out to just hear my bull craps all over the world.
I love it.
And you know, I have to big up, you know, my manager Garnet. I have to big up Teddy Riley. There's so much producers. I have to big up Big Yard, not Big Yard, but Unity Yard for No Love, the track No Love, and Look It to Cook It. I have to big up Big Laugh for Her Emotions. And then I have to big up to Linford Fata Marshall, my producer from Fat Eyes, you know, created all the big songs, them. He play an intricate role and mixing some stuff for me too. Because I still haven't leave out the original people. They still there with me, guiding me. Sly and Robbie as well. Big up to them. Big up to everybody who play a part on this project. The background vocalist, Limey Murray. Who else? Oh my God, there's 3 collabs. Big up to Budukusu from Ghana, who has collab with me on the same album with a song called Keep You Warm, which was produced by E7E Music as well, because they did 2 tracks on the album. And like I said, you know, to Tough Gang International, who has taken on the project. And I wanted this project to be an old soul project, because I realized that over the years we've been going with the same people and getting the same results. So I realized I wanted to switch platform a bit and focus more on what Bob Marley wanted for the reggae music. And even though, you know, Bob is not here, but his name is still ringing, and the Gang family. So we just have to big up Tough Gang International for the distribution of the album. And also Your Friend in Music, who is my manager's label, my label as well as Shem Music. And for the platform, Easy Man, Singing Melody.
Just like
on
that.
IG, Singing Melody on IG, Singing Melody Music on Facebook, and also Singing Melody on Twitter and TikTok, Singing Melody Music. And also, if you need me for bookings or anything, remember, yourfriendinmusic@gmail.com. Very easy.
Just like that. And the thing with it, you got your wish. You wanted your name to last forever, and your name is right now lasting forever. That's definitely it.
Well, thank you. And like I said, even though they said nothing lasts forever, but I know from I was a child growing up that music is the only thing going to surpass us. Even when we're gone, the music will still be here, because we lost some great producers last year to this year. We lost great icons, life is just what it is, and we just have to just remember that we have to leave something behind that we can remember it. And I'm glad that I chose music, and music was chose me as well. And if it didn't, then you would have known by now that we don't hear about singing melody for 20 years. I'm gone out of the business, man. I'm done. As we usually say, as Jamaicans, why I'm done, man. I'm not gonna wait. But for the most part, it's like, to everyone who actually put out effort in this time to really put out great product, despite of the situation. We have a challenging situation now that everything is online, and most people are not buying anymore. Most people are just streaming, and not everybody understands the streaming platform and how it works. And so that's where we struggle now to sell, is because we used to just go in and pop in the store and pick up the artist stuff, or go to his show and buy him stuff. Now the whole thing changed now to a different world, and we are struggling to selling. And I don't want to stay here and elaborate too much on it, but that's a different topic on part 2 that we have to talk about. And understanding how we really create sales on these digital platforms. And this is where we're struggling now, because if, let's say, you have a Spotify account and you're paying for it, $10, $12 a month, you get to stream anything. You can just download any album and play it or stream it. You don't have to pay for it. You just stream. You're paying for it on a monthly basis. So what happened now? That stream split up between you and 15 or 20 other artists, depends on your listening library. Now when that happens, let's say singing melody of 2 songs in your library spinning of the next chapter. That song has to stream at least 3,500 times to count as a sale. Or some crazy numbers like that. I'm not quite sure on the number.
Wow.
No, I think if you're paying for the account, it's about 1,200. But if you don't have a paid account and it's a free account, it's about 3,500 stream to one song to count as a sale. I'm not sure about the number, like I'm telling you. So people understanding that means if I go on there to play your music muscle, I have to play it continuously for it to develop sales. So what I'm saying to people is that getting access to the actual project and buy it and download it to your device is really the way to really support us. And music are struggling now to sell worldwide. It's not the same anymore since we got to digital. Everything has broken down to mathematics now, and not everybody's brain can able to manage all of that. People just want to get the
algorithms.
Yes.
Right now, listen. Before I get you out of here, what I'm going to ask you for is a cappella of "Shower Me with Your Love."
My heart is filled with so much love, and I need someone I can call my own to fall in love. That's what everyone's dreaming of. I hold this feeling oh so strong. Life is too short to live alone without someone to call my own. I will care for you and you will care for me. Our love will live forever. Shower me with your love. Yeah, man. Muslim. Respect, sir. And we give thanks to the blessings every time. We also give thanks for the opportunity. And we give thanks for life itself. And may God continue to bless you on your journey, and bless you and your followers and your listeners at the same times. We respect that and we respect it.
Mr.
So,
Melody.
from the new album, I just want to say thank you. The album is called The Next Chapter. There's a track on there on this album. Big up to Stingray too. I will forget to mention Stingray because that's where this album started. The Next Chapter, and there's a song on there called Give Thanks. We gotta give thanks. We got to give thanks, yes, for the ones who come before us, and we got to shake hands. We got to shake hands, yes, for a job well done. Say no more. A job well done. The next chapter is out. Please go get your copy. Go
Mr.
stream.
Mr. Melody, let me give you an outro and get you out of here because part one of this conversation was pretty crazy. I can't wait till we sit down and do the second part. Well,
Let's-
ladies and gentlemen, this is Muscle, and this has been another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast, and we are out.
Respect.
This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinesmusichut.com.